Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about infinite addition. So when we are talking about infinite addition, it simply means the addition of numbers infinitely without limit. So I can say 5 plus 3 plus 16 plus 22 plus 1 plus 15 plus as much as I can add, as long as I can add without stopping. It keeps on adding and adding and adding. So it's infinity. I can add to infinity, even though I want to add till when Jesus comes. I can keep on adding. So we're asked to write a program that prints the result of the addition of all arguments. The output should be the result of the addition of all arguments. So when I'm providing arguments, in our previous class we talk about arguments, where we provide argument when it comes to the terminal. So followed by a new line. You can cast argument into integers by using the int. You can assume that's all. Argument can be cast into integer, so we are going to cast our argument into integer, but we're going to try it like that before casting it into an integer to see what we are going to get as our output. So your code should not be executed when imported. Now the last thing we have here is how the testing, when we test it, how it's going to look like. So this is our terminal, and this code is run. So you can take a look at this line. So when it is run without providing any argument, we are going to get 0 as our outcome because nothing is provided as argument. So 0 is going to be printed out. So you get to see that right away, which we have in here. So that's it. So about this other line too, if we run it and we provide two arguments, which is 79 and 10, so we hit enter, we are going to get 89 as our output. This one we have over here. So 89 is going to be our output whenever we run those five. Then the last one too, you can even provide a negative number as an argument. So if, for instance, we provide 79, 10, minus 40, minus 30, and 89, we are going to get the correct answer, which is minus 62. You can even use a calculator and do that right away. Uh, so last but not least, your program should also handle big numbers. So even if you do this and you provide a number like this, 1 2 3, like this, and let me copy that again so you get a look at it. All these numbers, you provide it and you hit enter like that, is going to give you the complete answer, which is this. So something like this, and that is it for this project. So without wasting much time, we are going to go ahead and do some shit right. So the first thing we're going to take note is I want to get the name of the file. Okay, look at a short mem here, and remember how you did or did not do it in C, how you did in C, and or you did not do in C. So Python is cool. So actually, I'm just laughing. I'm not sure that's funny. Okay, so I'm going to open my terminal. Right away, gonna zoom, zoom. Yeah, it's cool. When I zoom like this, way bigger. So I'm going to navigate inside my uh, ALX high level programming like that. So I'm still going to CD again inside 0x0, 0x0 2, yeah, which is importing models. So that is it. So I'm gonna clear my screen. So we have this neat environment. Okay, okay, good. Now I can start writing some shit. I think if I increase it a bit, we are going to have good. Yeah, so you can see that uh, so this is it. So if we list what we have here, this is what we got. So we are going to create a file, the file there. So I'm going to vi with what I just copied. So 3-infinite underscore add.py. So that's the name of the file. So we're going to hit enter and we'll start typing in the solution for that problem. So usr slash bin slash python 3, just like that. Go to the next line. So that is that for that. Now the next thing is as usual, we are going to put our if there. Then we'll create an underscore name, then underscore uh, then equals to this value. So I'm just going to put that value there. So the value is supposed to be underscore main, then underscore. So that's the value we got there. Now we are done with that. So without wasting much time, we go ahead. Now you know that for me to be able to provide argument on our terminal, we need to import our external library SYS, so be able to make use of it to get the total number of arguments. So to get those number of arguments, we use length just like that. That is the variable I just created, and I'm going to assign it to the argument. Sorry, yeah, the argument sys dot argv, just like this. But this is going to give me a list of those stuff. So I just want to get not just the list, but I want to get the total number. So I'm going to pass this inside the function which I'm creating. So the name of the function is len, which stands for length. So the length is going to give us the total number of index in the array. So that is that for that. So I don't know if we need any other thing. Yeah, we need something else. We want to get the total number when everything is being summed up, where our answer will be stored. So I'm just going to call it add, or let me just call total add, total, let me just call it total, because it's adding out some stuff. So I'm just going to put 0, just like that. So putting 0 just like that. I can even change this to small later, total. Okay. So now I can go ahead and start writing. Actually, I'm not using a function, so I'm just going to go straight to the point. So if the length, if length is equals to 1, I told you, if you go through our previous class, you remember that the length, whenever I run a file, this whenever I run the file, this will always read 1, especially if we have one stuff provided there. So I'm just going to test that. I'll show you again so you get to see that for yourself and understand what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the length, so you see what we have there. Yeah, just like this. I'm going to print the length so you see what we got there, so you understand. So that is 3. So I'm just going to change the mode. Change mode u plus x, then 3, just like that. Good. Clear the screen. So now that is it. So now we can execute it right away. Now that we can execute it, I can just put this, then slash then the name of the executable file. Now this is only the first argument I've provided, which is the one I use to run the file. If I hit enter, you see it is printing out what? 1. Can you see 1 is being printed out there at the left hand side? If I run it and I provide other arguments like wisdom and knowledge, so just like this, now you see we have how many arguments? This itself followed by wisdom, which comes next, then followed by and, which is the third, then knowledge, which is the fourth. We have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4. So if I hit enter now, you see 4 is printed out on it. So now this is just for the execution. So if it is only this execution that is there, that means if it is equals to 1, so that's where that condition I'm talking about that I put there is coming from. So if it is 1, if length is equals to 1, then I want total total to be equals to 0, just like this, because total is always 0, so total is always set to 0. So I want it to be still set to 0. Then that is settled for that. Else, if that is not the case, that means if it is up to 2, 3, 4, and so on, then we want to run a loop. So I'm just going to put a for loop. I'm going to put that x in. So I'm going to call a range there. A range which is going to count from 1, starting it counting from 1 and ends it with the number of length we have there, LNGH. So that's good. Now, so if for instance I provide like 4 characters, like the running code, the file itself, then the wisdom and knowledge, that's making 4. So here it's going to be reading 1 to 4, but actually x will be 1 to 3, because it's going to be 1, 2, then 3, because you can remember that range, whenever we are running a range, this thing, it always returns the other this thing. So let me show you how that works. So I'm just going to delete this place. Now I'll give you the how it works. So I'm going to come here and paste sorry, I've not end my statement. Then I'm going to paste my print statement here. Oh, sorry. I'm pasting it here. So good. So there. Now, okay, actually I'm not printing the length. I'm printing x, so you know how x works. What will be the value of x depend on the argument I provide. Now if I hit that, now I go on to run my file. So now this one is how many? This is 4. So if I hit enter, you see we have 1, 2, 3. Can you see it's printed out 1, 2, 3? You can see that. But if I just provide without these arguments, just only this, nothing happens. So you can see that. So it counts from 1, x is counting from 1 to 3. Meanwhile, what we have here is what? So you can see now that we are having the normal outcome, we can go ahead and start adding them each. So we can start adding them each. So our counting will start from 1 to the third value there. So I'm just going to put this, then dot, and then I'm going to put okay, sorry, format. Now the format is, I'm going to put the total there, because the total is what we are looking for, TOTL, total there. So we have not assigned anything to our total. So what's going to happen to total? I'm going to TOTL. Then I'm going to append it. I'm going to add it. I'm going to be adding it because it's plus for numbers. For you especially use this especially when it comes to numbers. So you are going to be adding it. We're changing in numbers. So I told you that this stuff here is actually AGV. It's actually an array of numbers. So let me reduce this to get to see the full piece here. So you can see this ARGV is simply an array holding all the arguments. So for us to be able to access individual arguments, you need to put in what? A square bracket. You can understand? So putting that in a square bracket will access individual argument I've provided there. So if I come in and pass x there, just like that, and I run that like this, you can see there is a problem, unsupported operandi type, because we use plus this. So we're supposed to be providing a number instead of this thing. So let me put 23 and 7. That's supposed to give us something. So unsupported operandi type, int and string. So this, whatever value, even though it's 4 or 5, it's providing it in a string format. You can see the error we are getting there for plus equals. So I tell you that the plus equals is used mainly for integers and not strings, but the numbers there are presenting themselves as a string. So I will give you the difference between a string and an integer, so you get detailed understanding. Now for instance, I come in here. Now 34 is a number, or is known as an integer, but 34, this is a string. This is not a number. So even though it is a number that is inside the quote, as far as it is inside a quote, it is regarded as an integer, as a string. But this is regarded as a number, as an integer, a real number that can be add and subtract with. But this is not regarded as a real number that you can add and subtract. Take it as a normal text. So you get to understand that. So these are the two data types. We have Boolean, which is true and false. So like this. So and other data types we can discuss later. So that is why we need to come in here and pass what we have here into an inbuilt function called int. That is, if it is a number and the number is a string, then change it to a real number. So I'm going to put int there, close it there, then I'll close it at this other part. Now if we run it, I don't expect to get such error again. So you can see it's not coming, no error is coming out, but nothing is being printed out. So even if I pull this and run this alone, nothing is printed out. I put something like this, yet still those things are there, the space are prepared for it, but nothing is printed out. So what can we do to sort that issue? Now, to be able to solve such an issue, okay, I forgot to add the coily braces because that's the format part. That's why nothing is working. So it's just leaving the space there for it. I've not provided that. So let's try it again and see. So you can see we're having our answers 34, 68. So when you add 34 plus 34, that will give us 68, plus 34, that is give us 120. So the final answer is 120. But you can see how it is arranging the answers. It's adding them at intervals. So if I say 45 plus 5, it will give us 45 the first time. The next time it give us 50 plus 10. Okay, plus 10. Then it will give us 60. Now look at it. Sorry. Sorry. 45, 5, then 10. Now let's hit it. Now you can see we have 45, 50, then 60. So it's adding them at interval, but we don't want this addition at interval. We want this last one to be printed out. We want everything to run before starting to print. So now to be able to sort that out, how can we solve that? Is to come into this print statement. Know that is in, so each time run, the print function also runs. So I'm going to take it out of this print function and take it to the if else. So after the loop is done running, then it will come out and give us the last or the final answer. So we can do that just right away. Now I can try it right away. Now you see we get our final answer, which is what? 60. So I can test it, remove all these and put 50 plus 60. That's 110. You can see we have 110 printed on the screen. So we can even add multiple numbers. Plus 60 minus 56 minus 600 and plus 77. Going to give us our answer, which is minus 469. So we can do many calculations and so on, so forth. Sorry, I forget to add that stuff there. So as many calculations, it's going to give you the final answer, even though no matter how long you want to do. So you still get, sorry, you still get your final answer. Sorry, let me correct that right away. Dot slash, then the name of the file 3. Okay. I think there is a problem here. Let me get rid of you like this, and yeah, so we get our final answer. You can see that. Now there's a problem whenever you provide anything other than a number. So for instance, ABDD, invalid literals for int with base 10, ABD. So you can see whenever I provide that any other information other than a number, it throws an error. So that is one of the issue here we need to sort out, and that's been sorted out. So I hope you guys have a clear understanding and you guys are able to comprehend that. You can go and test that yourself run other things. And if you have any other questions, please drop it on the comment section. I always answer questions on your comments. I don't miss that out at all or at all costs. So please make sure you subscribe and smash the like button and have a nice day.